Each year, thousands of Australians chase the ultimate dream: to sell up and leave their stressful lives behind for a slice of paradise. They're looking for not just one property, but two: the perfect family home and an investment property on the side.
But in a land as vast as Australia, where does this daunting double search begin? That's where we come in.
I'm Veronica Morgan. With over a decade's experience in residential real estate, my specialty is finding the best properties and negotiating the best deals.
And I'm Bryce Holdaway, and for the last 13 years, I've been helping investors buy property all across the country.
Between us, we have almost 25 years of experience. And as buyer's agents, we've helped hundreds of people buy properties.
We're cashed up, but we're homeless.
Oh, I can't do this.
What a great place for adventures to begin, no?
From desert landscapes to country coastlines.
From city crash pads to beach bungalows, whatever the size of the budget.
We'll help our real estate hopefuls find two properties that will set them up for life.
Looks like you guys have just bought a property.
Yay! If I could smile anymore, my cheeks would be in my ears.
Yes! I'm home.
And this week, we're hitting some of the prettiest coastline Australia has to offer on a twofold property hunt.
Sold.
With double the surprises.
Are you serious?
Totally serious.
And double the excitement.
Yay!
They say absence makes the heart grow fonder.
But this week we meet two lovebirds who've had enough of being apart.
Hi, gorgeous. How are you, beautiful?
Married couple Carl and Ray are yearning for a more relaxed pace of life.
Missed you too.
6 months ago, work commitments came between these two Sydney-siders, forcing them to live in different states.
Carl's moved up to Brisbane for his new job as a wine company executive.
While Ray's been stuck behind in the Sydney suburb of Coogee, selling their home and looking for a new one.
All those things that we're going through are probably the most stressful things you ever do in your life, and we're doing it apart. The one thing I really miss is snuggling up with my best mate.
That would be me.
Yeah, that would be you.
Great.
And it's a big change for these two, particularly as they've put their heart and soul into renovating the beachside bungalow they've owned for the past 6 years.
Ray has great vision in properties and an amazing ability to see what can be done, and we've completely changed the house, so it's nothing like it was when we started.
Having now cashed in their property chips in Sydney for a cool $1.8 million, Ray and Carl have decided to invest in two properties on Queensland's sunny shores.
Having cold winters in Sydney makes you make a decision to move to Cairns, to live in thongs and shorts
And T-shirt.
and T-shirt.
Yeah. Every day.
But retiring to a beach hideaway in far north Queensland is a long-term plan. In the short term, they're after a Brisbane base close to Carl's work. This will be rented out when they eventually move further north. So it's a tropical love nest and a Brisbane nest egg. No wonder they're keen to fly the coop.
And it's our job to help get this search off the ground. So pack your sunscreen, Veronica. We're on a mission to bring these lovebirds back together. We're heading over 2,000 kilometres north of their current home in Sydney's eastern suburbs to Cairns in far north Queensland.
With glorious sandy beaches and tropical palm trees, it's the perfect retreat for southern city folk like Carl and Ray,
Hello,
How you doing?
who are searching for a sea change.
What is it about this area that you love so much? I mean, it's hot.
Oh, it's fantastic. It was great stepping off the plane. Just suddenly that warmth hits you and you can't wait to get in your shorts and your thongs.
How exciting is the thought of moving up here? Because you guys have been apart, so how tough's that been?
It's funny, people probably think, oh, it's fantastic, you know, I'm leaving the wife for 3 months. It's not the same as being away every week, week in, week out. And it's just horrible. And it's really hard to try and think about trying to find property when you're spending all your life on an aeroplane and backwards and forwards. So we wanted to come to the experts.
So tell us a bit about what the search here, what we need to be specifically looking for.
Oh, can I say, we'd like a $3 million property for about $950. That'd be ideal.
Yeah,
You know what?
you guys aren't testing us. Why? Everyone else tests us and you guys are giving us an easy brief.
And what scares me is that they've actually just articulated what every single buyer that we come across actually thinks.
And like most buyers, they have a healthy list of criteria for their forever beach house.
We need to find them a 3 or 4 bedroom home with a view of the ocean. And for their $1 million budget, they also want separate living quarters for Carl's parents, who'll be staying for a few months a year.
And we want to be able to shut them out the way.
So you want two houses?
Too many in-law gags there.
That's, I'm in big trouble now. That's it. Go on the inheritance.
I suspect that you've had a look and see what sort of properties you're after. Have you seen any that you like?
We did see a property that we really liked, the difficulty for us, we saw it 6 months ago. We hadn't sold a house. We didn't have a house on the market. We actually made an offer on the property. It wasn't accepted. We would have offered more had we sold the house.
Was that the ideal property?
It would have been a great house, but anyway.
We'll wait and see what we get to see going forward.
I think the best thing for Carl and I is that we're cashed up and ready to go. So we've got that flexibility to say, here's some cash, do you want it? And we can play a bit of hardball, if you like. And that's the first time we've ever really been able to do that.
And that's bound to help us snap them a bargain in Brisbane as well.
They're open to buying a modern apartment or a Queenslander, where they can live now and eventually rent out. But it must have 2 bedrooms and be close to cafes and shops, and they have a budget of $500,000.
After selling their Coogee bungalow, Ray and Carl have a healthy budget of $1.5 million.
Up to $1 million of this will be put towards the Forever Beach House, and $500,000 will go towards the Brisbane investment.
What's going to be the most difficult thing about this search?
I'm fairly clear on that. 16 or 17 years of training has got me to a position where I understand that I'm normally wrong, so...
Have I ever let you down, though?
Never.
Well, clearly you married Miss Right, but perhaps you didn't realise her first name was Always.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Hang on, we're trying to get these guys back together, not split them up.
Come on, she laughed. She thinks I'm funny.
Give her time.
I like the idea of buying a property up here.
You can see what they really like about this place. Nice and laid back, so perfect spot, I reckon.
And it's the ideal time to buy in far north Queensland. The strong Aussie dollar has scared off international buyers, and the GFC has also flattened the market. So there are some serious bargains.
And our first stop is Clifton Beach, half an hour up the coast from Cairns, and one of Carl and Ray's ideal locations.
This peaceful beachside community remains largely untouched by tourist development and has a laid-back atmosphere that's hard to turn down.
Hello, come on in.
How you doing?
Very well. What about you guys?
Yeah, very good, thank you. We've got to be good. We're back in Clifton Beach.
And this is the position that you guys love so much, just this little pocket around here, yeah?
Yep.
Most definitely.
So have we nailed it? Do we can just pack up, make an offer and go home?
You're close.
Oh, well, first impression's great. First impression's certainly good.
And it's no wonder. They asked for ocean views, but we've gone one better.
50 metres from the beach, this split-level tropical hideaway has the bright, open feel they're after, with the master bedroom upstairs and the 2 smaller bedrooms downstairs. There's even a large entertaining deck and spa.
And there's enough to keep them busy, with space for a pool and the opportunity to convert this garage into a granny flat for the folks. Best of all, it's well under their $1 million budget at $799,000. So there's enough money left over to renovate.
Most properties we take people through, you need to see a few rooms before you get a sense of the property, but certainly this one is quite striking and you'll either love it or hate it.
I love the openness of it. I love the height. The height is amazing, and it does have a bit of a wow factor when you come in the door.
You know where I'm going? I'm up there with the paintbrush, painting every bit of the wood out.
And clearly it'll be without a ladder.
Yeah, absolutely.
With the amount of dark timber in this place, that's a tall order, even for Carl.
Never fear. I know just the thing to change his point of view. Carl, this is what Queensland's all about, looking at that fabulous view which won't ever be built out.
No, it's fantastic, isn't it? That's certainly what we're looking for in a place to be able to be that close to the ocean, so that's great.
So Ray's inside with Veronica having put the bedrooms. What do you think her first impression of this place will be?
Wood. And lots of wood.
Yeah? Positive or negative? Or?
I don't see it as a disadvantage. Paintbrush, white paint, fix the dark timber.
And let's be honest, if you had just got a map out and said, where do I want to be, and put a little pencil mark, it would have just been in this little vicinity here.
Absolutely.
So,
yeah. Location spot on.
Yeah.
Come on up. This is actually the main bedroom we're going to have a look at here. You can see the staircase is a little bit steep. Not my favourite type of staircase, but at least you won't be going down in the middle of the night to the toilet because it is an ensuite up here.
Oh, great.
Few obvious issues, because even I can touch that. Oh, almost touch that. And there's no insulation at all up here, which is a bit of a problem because that means this is the hottest room in the house because heat obviously rises. So you might look to put some insulation in and actually line this space, or if you like the look of the timber, you might choose to paint it.
So this here is the garage, which you could convert into some self-contained accommodation. The plumbing's already there. There's a toilet and a shower in there. We can close the garage doors off and put a carport there, and you've got those two problems solved.
Great. Yeah, it's interesting.
Carl's doing his best to keep an open mind, and it's safe to say they love the location.
But I'm not so sure about the house.
I've been showing Ray around inside in the bedrooms, and upstairs, I think personally is a bit of a low point of the house.
Well, he is a big unit. He's going to have to bend down a fair bit up there. That upstairs is pretty small for a 6'5" bloke.
Doesn't work for me as a double bedroom. I would dead set get out and go over the balcony in the night, without a doubt.
I wonder if the prospect of broken bones will be a deal breaker.
Is it a contender?
It's a contender.
No pressure.
No, it's a contender if we can get it the right price, because we think we're going to have to lift the roof and put an upstairs level in to capture the views and turn it upside down, so bedrooms downstairs, living area upstairs.
For us at the moment, it sounds silly, there's two of us, it's too small.
Well, the asking price is $799,000 negotiable. So there could be room there to get it within budget, including your renovation.
Sure. It's in the mix.
Absolutely.
OK, so it's a maybe, assuming you can get it right, and assuming we don't show anything better.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This one, they're talking about basically rebuilding it. I think it's far too much work for them, and I think it's a great position, though.
This is definitely the area they want to be, but that is a big project.
Well, I suspect that there's got to be some properties around here that would be available and perhaps were on the market before, but now it's such a flat market, they've been taken off the market. And I think if we ferret around, we might uncover some little gems that could be available, but they're no longer being advertised.
Veronica's got a point. It's worth us checking around with local agents to see if there are houses selling off-market, because who knows what we might uncover.
This week, we're helping Carl and Ray find their $1 million home in tropical far north Queensland.
The real estate market here is very tricky, so the pressure's on us to get it right.
But so far, this is proving a challenge.
After showing them a 3-bedroom tropical hideaway in Clifton Beach, the location had them smiling, but the house was quickly cut down to size.
For us at the moment, it sounds silly, there's two of us, it's too small.
So Bryce is hitting the phones, contacting agents to hunt out properties that might be about to come on the market, or find ones that have been taken off the market given the current slump. And in the meantime, I'm taking them to our next property in Trinity Beach, 20 minutes from Cairns. This divine beachside haven is a little busier than Clifton Beach, but take one look at that spectacular view and you can definitely see what the attraction is.
Carl and Ray said the last house wasn't big enough, so we found a beautiful architecturally designed home which hits the mark.
It's got all the size they're after, but the trade-off is that it's a couple of kilometres back from the beach, a little further than they'd like.
With fabulous open-plan kitchen and living areas, as well as bedrooms on the main level, there's also self-contained guest accommodation downstairs.
The asking price is around $800,000. The question is, will Carl and Ray choose beautifully designed space over location?
Can you imagine yourself sitting up here, drinking mojitos, looking at that view?
I absolutely can. I love this open space, it's just gorgeous.
It's pretty special, isn't it?
It's fantastic because it's really on brief. Outside area, view, I think we've pretty much nailed it.
Wow, this house has won them over already, and they haven't even seen inside.
I think it was all that talk of mojitos, Veronica. Maybe we need to pour them a drink.
And how's this for size?
I don't mind the size actually. It's quite large. It's bigger than our current bedroom, so that's nice.
You won't be hitting your head on the ceiling in here.
No, it's good size.
And the adjoining bathroom offers a taste of the great outdoors.
The people around here, they like their open bathrooms.
Fantastic.
Definitely unique, isn't it?
Opportunity to get to know the neighbours, which is also quite nice.
Oh, I guess you could.
You're an exhibitionist, you'll be fine.
Absolutely.
Talk about a room with a view.
Yeah, but every property comes with a compromise, so let's see what they make of downstairs.
So down here is the double garage and the self-contained accommodation. You've got a bedroom with some storage and a bathroom just over there.
I've squeezed a lot in a small space.
But Ray's not looking so sure.
It's got like that musty, earthy, no ventilation smell. There's tiny little windows that are sealed shut there, and then there's no airflow whatsoever. There's no breeze anywhere.
Yeah, you might have to do a little bit of work under here to actually make it more of a pleasant space, that's for sure. And maybe you extend it out further, perhaps, to the actual front of the house there. But that wall there is actually under the ground because the house is built on a hill. So we definitely have to get the drainage checked out to make sure it's doing its job, especially in an area with this much rainfall.
On the plus side, this property is around $200,000 under budget, which leaves more than enough money in the kitty to open up this area if they can see the potential.
They're asking offers in the early 800s.
That's all right. I would have thought it would have been a lot more expensive than the first house.
That would still leave some money to do some modifications.
My one concern is there's no airflow and it's very mouldy down there, and I think it might have a lot to do with the water around the property as well. If we could look to open the back up and get some flow through, that might help it. And I think the other thing is just the proximity to the beach.
The only way to sort the walk to the beach is to actually do it. The other thing is, because this is on an elevated site, because there is a lot of rainfall around here, and so water's got to go somewhere, and because there is a creek that surrounds it, then you definitely want to get that checked out. So that's all part of the process if you get to that point of to making an offer.
For sure, absolutely.
Certainly get that looked at.
We would definitely want to do that if this was the one that we wanted to go for.
Did he say if this was the one they wanted? That doesn't sound promising.
Well, they're not going to win points with the parents if they pack them off into that dungeon downstairs. So it's onwards, upwards and closer to the beach to check out the next house.
We're staying put in Trinity Beach, but right down to the beachfront to check out an amazing property that fits their brief and is on for a steal.
So what we learned is that being close to the beach is important to you, and also their self-contained accommodation is very important to you.
For sure,
So this house delivers on both of those scores. The opportunity here is the price. Because the market has been so flat here for so many years, this now is within your reach. It was built 5 years ago at a cost of $1.9 million. And it has been on the market now for 4 years and now is asking $1 million.
And that's a pretty big price drop, but the owner's over-capitalised, and that means a bargain for Ray and Carl.
There's also another rather big issue that might be a problem. But first things first, let's check out this spectacular house.
Set up high on stilts to take advantage of the ocean views, this home has 3 bedrooms and an open-plan living area upstairs.
While downstairs, there's separate poolside accommodation for guests. No dungeons here.
And it comes in smack bang on budget at $1 million.
So we're back to a view. That's great, isn't it? Love the open decks. It's good. Yeah. First impressions are very good.
But then there's the elephant in the room, or more to the point, just outside of it.
You guys did say that you chose not to move to Port Douglas because it was a 50-minute drive from the airport. Well, this is the downside of being 20 to 30 minutes from the airport.
With 60 flights in and out of Cairns Airport each day, aircraft noise can be an issue in Trinity Beach.
Especially if you have living areas that open up to the outdoors.
Now, this is the only furniture they've actually got in the house, so you're going to have to use your imagination. Unfortunately, rooms do look bigger when they are furnished.
Feels a good size.
Yeah, it does. I love the roof. I love the light that comes in. It's already bright home anyway, but that just is just a feature that's unusual.
And you've got this open plan living dining area.
Yeah, the kitchen's lovely actually. I really like the fact that it's sort of, the bench there goes to the outside as well, so it's inside outside. That's really great.
And if they like that, they're going to enjoy the outdoor entertaining area downstairs, with its large swimming pool and separate guest accommodation.
Well, if having people over to entertain is important to you, I think you're going to like this area.
That's fantastic.
It is.
Yeah, nice bit of stainless.
And even though the accommodation down here is not huge, this really can function as an outdoor lounge room.
Yeah, it's good space too. A lot of usable area.
I have to give it to Carl and Ray. They're really doing their best to imagine living in this house.
And this is a nice breakfast bar.
Yeah, it is.
But will the flight noise drown out their positive reactions?
If I'm going to come to a tropical oasis, I'd like it to be quiet.
Now you've seen everything this house has to offer.
You certainly showed us something that is really on brief. It's got sensational water views. It's got the parents' retreat. I think the biggest issue will be that we'll talk about is the plane noise.
You've either got to live with it or you don't live here.
That's right.
Was that something we were trying to get away from in Sydney? You bet you it was. So, questions. Some great questions that we've got to have a think about.
Seems like the noise on high is enough to land this property squarely in the maybe pile as well.
Yeah, well, let's hope you've got something up your sleeve, Holdaway, before the search for this tropical love nest flies out the window.
Well, you know the saying, if you love something, set it free. If it comes back, it's yours, and if it doesn't, it never was.
Really? Do we have to listen to this?
Stay with me, because I've got some exciting news. There was one house here at Clifton Beach that you guys really fell in love with, and not too far away from where we're standing now, right?
Yeah, it was a beach house just up the street.
The offer was rejected only because we could only go to a certain amount of money because we hadn't sold our Sydney house and we didn't want to get into the situation where we bought before we sold. And then we had to say, well, if it's off the picture, it's off the picture, and that's obviously what it was meant to be for us.
Have you been benchmarking everything to that since?
Yeah, absolutely. I've had in the back of my mind, have we made a huge mistake in letting the property that we found 6 months ago go? And whilst I've been really trying hard to keep that out of my mind, it's still been nagging away there.
I've spoken to the owner of that property and they have removed it from the market, but at the right price, they are still prepared to sell it. So that's the next property we're going to have a look through.
Oh my God.
How do you feel about that?
You're
That looks at
exciting.
everything. This really is the perfect home for Carl and Ray, just 20 metres from the beach.
With an attic-style master bedroom on the top floor, lounge and dining in the middle, and guest accommodation down the bottom, there's more than enough space.
And most importantly, loads of potential.
Only problem is, the owner is no longer under pressure to sell, so they've upped the price to $1.1 million, $100,000 over Carl and Ray's ideal budget.
So will Carl and Ray stretch their funds, or will they walk away from their dream home again? Now, I can see why you fell in love with this place.
Absolutely.
If we're going to do this move and spend a lot of money up here, then absolute beachfront is never going to lose us anything. The opportunity, I think, for us is in there, and lots of places to spend cash.
So you remember it well then. So it's probably time that we talk about the price.
Yeah, that would be good.
Need a bit of a drum roll here, don't we?
Yeah.
When you made the offer on this property, you hadn't sold your house in Sydney.
No.
Yep.
So your circumstances were different. The vendor circumstances were also apparently different at that time, and they were under a bit of pressure to sell. And at that point, I think they were prepared to look at something under the $1 million mark for a brief moment in time. And you happened upon them in that brief moment. Unfortunately, your moment has passed, and that's good for you because you've actually got more money to spend now. It's bad for you because the owner of the property no longer needs to sell. Their asking price is back where it originally was at $1.1 million.
Come on, mate, explain that look.
We're lucky we've got you two.
Talk about upping the ante. I thought we'd worked enough magic for one day.
So stepping back inside, is it the same as you remember?
Oh, the kitchen's definitely the same.
It's quite a great colour scheme, isn't it?
This was probably the biggest challenge for us, this living area, because of the size. And then the first time we looked at it, that was really the thing that we went, nah, it's too small, walk away. Second time we came back, we focused a little bit more on the outside. Right at the moment, I've just gone very flat on the fact that a few months is going to cost us a lot of money, which we could have used to make and bring this house up to the spec it needs to be.
Oh no, don't lose heart now. If this house eventually becomes their forever home, they'll more than make up the money over the decades.
Especially if they add value, and there's no shortage of places to start, including the master bedroom upstairs. But it's definitely got a good space up here. Is it how you remembered?
Yeah, very much so, but just very wasted. You need to do something with it. We talked about knocking bits out,
Yeah.
so there's lots to do.
The key question then is, would you be prepared to walk away from this place and have no regrets?
That'll be a tough one, because 1.1 is probably too much.
Ray sounds like she's getting the wobbles, and at that price, it's understandable.
But not our Carl. He's as good as moved in and having his first beer on the front deck.
What about this space? What were you planning in here?
It was perfect for our friends with the young families. They've got plenty of sleeping area here, and they've got a bathroom, a laundry, and the area straight out onto the pool. So it's just perfect. And we've got a retreat right up the top to get away from all of them.
So the 3 levels really do offer you quite a lot of flexibility here, don't they?
Loads of flexibility, yep.
On 728 square metres of land, this beach house provides Carl and Ray with room for improvement. Good thing they're not afraid of a project.
Now the big decision.
How are you feeling, guys? You've just come out of your dream house. What are you thinking?
I think it's our preferred property of the four.
Oh, that's going to really raise the bar, isn't it? So if you don't buy this one, that's really going to make it very difficult to buy anything.
And I think we realised that 6 months ago when we'd missed out on this place previously. We'd aimed high and found something great first up, so anything else was going to have to be really good to beat it.
Well, let's be honest, the brief's been built around this house.
Yep, absolutely.
We've got to come to terms with, are we happy to walk away again and live how we've lived the last 6 months, or do we take the leap of faith, which we've done before, and come out on top?
Well, they have a lot to think about tonight, and tomorrow brings them unexpected news.
We're in tropical far north Queensland helping married couple Carl and Ray find their own little piece of paradise and an investment property down in Brisbane.
After showing them 4 very different beach hideaways, Bryce came up trumps with the Hampton-style house they'd missed out on once before.
But at $1.1 million, it's $100,000 over budget.
We've got to come to terms with, are we happy to walk away again, or do we take the leap of faith, which we've done before, and come out on top?
And it's a big leap, especially considering the amount of maintenance required on a property of this type.
If Carl and Ray actually get this beautiful old place, which is about 30 years old with lots of timber, they're not going to be spending all their time looking at this view on the deck, because the challenge is being so close to the water in a constantly wet environment. You've got to be looking out for timber rot. The other thing to keep in mind is there's lots of salt spray that comes from being so close to the ocean. And so to get around that, we need to be washing it constantly, maybe every 2 weeks, so it's really high maintenance. And on top of that, they'll need to paint the exterior of the house every 5 or so years to keep it in tip-top shape. That alone will set them back over $12,000 a pop.
Ouch! So we're there with a builder getting a quote on how much it will cost to bring this place back up to scratch.
It's mainly just maintenance issues that are the problem with the house that I can see. The house has been here for a number of years, as you know, and these are typical issues on most of the houses. You'll see that about this age down the beach.
Typical or not, his estimate still packs a punch. Around $50,000 to knock the house back into shape. The question is that a deal breaker?
The value of the maintenance and the money we've got to spend there is pretty much the same as we'd thought, isn't it? Around the early 50s.
So does that change anything in terms of what you're prepared to pay for this property?
I defer to the decision maker.
Well, that's got to be right. The one time I actually get to say something positive. Well, our top line is $1,050,000, but obviously because we'd probably like to get it for $1 million because we can have that 50 to do the maintenance.
Well, where we're at the moment is you've got a vendor that hasn't really moved from their asking price of 1.1, and what we need to do at this point in time is get a counter offer out of these owners. We need to find out what they are prepared to part with this property for. So what we need to do is go in a bit lower than you're prepared to pay, and it's going to be a bit of toing and froing, I think, before we get to a final agreed price.
We're thinking around $989.
So you're happy for me to put a call into the agent?
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right. Yeah, Grant, it's Bryce Holdaway here. How you going? That's good. Hey, look, I'm just sitting here with Carl and Ray, and they're interested in putting an offer in on the beach house, and their offer is $989,000. How long do you think it'll take to get back to us? All right, look forward to hearing from you. Thanks, Grant. Bye now. Well, he thought it was a solid offer. He's prepared to take that to the vendor now, so really it's just a bit of a waiting game. Are you patient?
We'll have to be.
Don't have a choice.
Carl and Ray have come a long way to buy their dream house, both physically and emotionally.
They've missed out on it once before, and it would be very hard to let it slip through their fingers a second time.
It's a long, nervous wait and they're feeling the pressure. But finally, the call comes in.
Now, guys, I've just heard from the agent, and I do have some news. They're prepared to sell it today for $1 million.
Are you serious?
Totally serious.
What is it? Can. Yay! That's awesome.
Yes.
Oh, thank you. Congratulations.
Well done, mate.
Oh my God.
That's good news, yeah?
That's
a
awesome.
bit of a surprise.
Oh, your dream house. Well done.
That is a surprise.
I haven't seen this guy so speechless for the last 2 days, so...
No, that's good. Good news.
Thank you ever so much. Thank
It's
you.
a pleasure. Look, I think we better get the agent back on the phone and let him know that we've got a deal.
Can you do that quickly before they change their mind?
Carl and Ray have been dreaming about this house for 6 months. After missing out once before, it's now finally theirs. And best of all, they've secured it within their $1 million budget. Now that's certainly worth celebrating.
Queensland homeowner.
Great news, but our job's not over yet. We still have to find Ray and Carl a property in Brisbane.
No rest for the wicked, eh, Ronnie? We'd better get down there. Queensland's capital city is Australia's third largest, with a population just over 2 million, making this a very different search from far north Queensland. The challenge with these guys is they spent the top end of their budget up in Cairns at $1 million, so it leaves us with only up to $500,000 here in Brisbane, and they've chosen some pretty blue chip suburbs.
Given that the property market here has been flat for quite some time, given that there have been floods, and that's had an impact in terms of confidence in the market, there's got to be some buying opportunity, surely.
Up to 600,000 in those blue chip markets, there's really strong competition, and as you know, 2 or more people on a property means that there's no bargains to be had. And really it's going to come down for where they're prepared to compromise. If they want a really modern home, the size is going to be small, or if they'd like something that's a little bit older, they might get a bit more size. So it'll really be uncovering what exactly will tick all their boxes.
Carl and Ray want something that's low maintenance and doesn't need renovating.
The plan is to live in Brisbane for the next few years, while Clifton Beach is rented out for around $700 a week.
And in the long term, they'll eventually move north and keep the Brisbane property as an investment.
So with this in mind, we found a great little apartment that fits the bill and the budget. Just a hop, skip and a ferry ride from the city, Bulimba sits near the Brisbane River. It's also close to Oxford Street's cool shops and restaurants, which will be popular with Carl, Ray and future tenants.
Located on the ground floor, this 2-bedroom apartment with a large private courtyard needs very little done to it, so they could move straight in.
It also has lots of tenant appeal with access to a pool and a barbecue.
And as a long-term investment, the numbers look good too, with a rental return of up to $490 a week. Not bad for the asking price of $485,000 plus.
Come on in. We have 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, this galley-style kitchen, all very modern.
Terry?
What's that look mean, mate?
I'm being very good. I know the Brisbane search is all about compromise, and I'm very keen to see the place. I think I've probably seen it all from here, but I'm very keen.
Well, Carl is 6'5". That's one big bloke in a small apartment.
Well, unless he wants to grow the budget, this is about as big as it gets if they're after a modern apartment in a cosmopolitan area.
This is the main bedroom here. Small but perfectly formed. You could describe this whole apartment that way. You know, you can fit a queen-size bed quite comfortably. You've got the built-ins and you've got high ceilings, you've got the floor-to-ceiling glass there as well. So, you know, it's got a nice sense of light and airiness.
It's just getting used to it, I think. It's just getting used to the idea that it's, you know, it's not for a long time, and then we've got to think about the potential to rent it out.
Given that they're going to be living here for a couple of years, it's really difficult to get their head around the thought process for an investment property versus somewhere to live.
And they've just come from the holy grail of their far north Queensland paradise, and then they've got to get a bit of a reality check on what their budget will buy here in Brisbane.
It's that compromise all the time.
I like the fact that it's got a pool, though.
Here they are, they've had a look around.
So, how do we go? The first property you've looked at in Brisbane?
Well, we don't really know at the moment because we don't know how much it is.
Oh, the price.
Oh, they're asking. That's a good sign.
That is a good sign. Well, this one's on the market asking for offers over $485,000, and the most recent sale in this area is $487,000.
I think we were expecting it to be right at the top of our price range because of the area. It has got a lot of pluses. It's also got some compromises. The outside areas are really, really good, high spec. They look nice, lots of space.
But you walk straight into the kitchen and there's really not much opportunity to add value.
So the low-maintenance apartment definitely isn't fitting the bill. We need to find something a bit bigger that they can put their stamp on, and fast. We're going Troppo on a double relocation super search in Queensland.
Married couple Carl and Ray have already secured their forever home up north in Clifton Beach.
Oh, your dream house. Well done.
That is a surprise.
And now we're in Brisbane on the hunt for a property that will be their home in the short term and an investment pad in the long term. We've already shown them a modern apartment, but it definitely didn't fit the bill.
There's really not much opportunity to add value.
Well, that's a turn for the books. Initially, they said they wanted something low maintenance that didn't need a lot of work. Now they're after a project.
So we've hit the ground running and uncovered something very special, but definitely not for the faint-hearted, in the upmarket suburb of Paddington, just 2 k's from the city.
This suburb has streets lined with gorgeous old homes that have been beautifully restored, and many that are priced in the millions.
Some lovely houses around here, aren't there?
Yeah, and on their budget, I think we found them one.
Not that one, surely.
No, silly, the one down the road.
Oh, God.
This older workers' cottage is in slightly better condition, but not much.
While it's a pretty little thing at first glance, closer inspection reveals the layout's upside down with a bad renovation downstairs.
And there's mould, rising damp, and who knows what critters are in the woodwork.
It's a lot to get their heads around, and just to keep the pressure on, they don't have time to dally.
It's going to auction in 2 days' time, and the agent says there's some serious interest around $480,000.
Hello.
Hi,
Hey,
good
guys.
morning.
Bo.
How you doing?
Well, did you sleep well last night?
Oh, we did. Yeah, always sleep well.
Well, we think we pulled a rabbit out of a hat because we've found you this little doer-upper. That might be a slight understatement, but we'll talk about that inside. But we're right in the heart of Paddington.
Ray had said to me this morning when we knew we were coming to Paddington, just hold your horses, we won't be able to afford it. So,
I thought she was going to say, ring the bank manager, we're only 5 minutes away.
Now, don't be deceived because it's very charming on this level.
It does feel like a bit of a step back in time, though. And you said you wanted a project, so...
it's a project.
Yep, it's a project.
This is where Ray comes into her own. Ray has a lot of vision in places like this.
Ray's not looking quite so convinced.
Yeah, but don't you love the fact that Carl thinks she's the girl for the job?
So what do you think of this extensive outdoor kitchen here?
Oh, how funny.
Yeah? What you had in mind?
That's different, but great.
Definitely.
An opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely.
You've got a good view of the block here, 404 square metres, and it's north-facing.
It's a good-sized block.
Yeah, it is. It is a really good sized block.
Probably some potential to take the outside deck further out.
Yeah, we'll probably need to talk to a builder and stuff.
Probably.
More like definitely. We haven't even shown them the half of it yet.
So upstairs, you've really got 2 bedrooms, a bathroom, and that living area. I mean, you've got all the timber panelling, fretwork there, nice high ceilings for Carl. I think there's a couple of opportunities with this property. I mean, you could just fix up this top level and make it a really cute, quaint little house.
Yep.
There's definitely potential downstairs. There's definitely potential to extend and you know, do other things. So after yesterday's experience and change of heart, with this property, are we on the right track?
Yeah, absolutely. This is definitely, it's quaint, it's enough to manage. I mean, the question we have to ask is obviously budget and also investment potential later on down the track.
A character cottage of this size and this location won't be difficult to let out down the track.
And with some improvements, especially to the bathroom and kitchen, it could fetch around $600 a week in rent. Carl, you're going to be very interested down here to see the amount of headroom that you have or perhaps don't have.
That's all right.
Probably have to put a few signs
Yeah.
up here that says mind your head.
For
But
sure.
we can solve the problem of where the kitchen is.
Yeah, look, I mean, we knew from the outside that this was going to be interesting down here. Yeah, it doesn't faze me.
Wow, them's brave words. This house needs a lot of TLC to bring it up to scratch, including potentially gutting the downstairs level to deal with mould and rising damp. That alone will set them back around 10 grand.
But it's clear they're both focused on the potential rather than the costs.
I'm a little bit worried that we've given them too big a challenge, though.
Yeah, look, we've asked them to go to the top of their budget. They need to spend more money to renovate it, and I wonder if Ray really wants to project manage something this big.
Look, to be honest, it boils down to it's a big project. It's whether you want to have a crack at it. That's what it boils down to.
Is that an excited look or an unbelieving look?
I think that's an excited look for Ray. What about you, Carl?
I think you've given us lots to think about again.
But you haven't got a lot of time to think about this one because the auction's only 2 days away.
For me, it's all about a commercial proposal, to buy it at the right price, spend the right amount of money on it, keep it for a short period of time, a couple of years, something like that, and then get a return on it.
So Carl and Ray smell a business opportunity, somewhere they can do up and make a tidy profit down the track.
But it all comes down to numbers. After 24 hours thinking time, they've done the sums and decided to give it a go. But their absolute limit is $540,000.
In the meantime, with the auction less than 24 hours away, they've had to head back down to Sydney to settle on their Coogee house.
And on the way down the highway, they got some late breaking news about Paddington, thanks to a building and pest report.
We've got termites.
Are they live?
We've got live termites, pretty exciting. We've got possible asbestos. We've got lots of damp, pretty much the state we'd expect to be a renovator in that area, so we're going to give it a crack.
So they've asked me to bid for them at the auction while they pull over by the roadside and hang nervously on the line.
There are a few simple tips for auctions. Firstly, arrive early to gauge how many people are seriously interested and look confident and composed, no matter how nervous you are.
So the opening bid from the vendor is $480,000. At $480,000, where are we going? At $480,000, 485's next.
5.
Thank you, number 1. At $485,000 now. New bidder number 2 at $490,000.
As difficult as it is, always try and stick to your limit. And Ray and Carl want me to go in hard, up to $540,000.
10. That's $510,000.
20.
Big bold bid. Number 1, $520,000 is at 5. Thank you, number 2.
30.
And 30, as she says, at $530,000. At $530, 35 now. At $535,000.
40.
And 40. Thank you. At $540,000. At $540,000. We all done and finished? Is that a no? That's a no. Thank you. You've been a great sport. At $540,000, that's the first call. Second call. Last chance. Third and final call. Are we all done and finished? $540,000 sold. Congratulations.
Well done. Congratulations. That is fantastic news. I think it's a really good house for you guys.
Not sure we're excited about all the work we've got to do.
Nice work, Veronica. That has to be a record. 2 properties in 2 weeks.
Takes 2 to tango, Bryce. We managed to secure their dream home in Clifton Beach once and for all.
And if that wasn't enough excitement, they took a mighty plunge when they bought this quirky Queenslander in Brisbane.
So much for bringing these 2 lovebirds together. If their idea of romance is being up to their necks in building dust, they're set for life.
But it's a great property, and a couple of months on, we're dropping by to see if they're living happily ever after.
Hey, how are you? Lovely to see you.
Hello.
Hey.
Great to see you.
Oh, hello.
Nice to see you. Congratulations, you're back
Thank you.
together.
We are, and welcome to our fantastic house that you bought for us. Lead on.
Thanks, mate.
As you can see, major renovations have already taken place.
Oh, you left them all. What happened to the balcony?
We're going to knock this wall out. We're going to extend 8 metres out the back and put a kitchen, dining room and lounge room. And then this side's going to be a 3rd bedroom, and there's going to be an ensuite on the back wall there, and then stairs down leading underneath.
It's no small project, and with so much work until it's finished, they've been staying in a serviced apartment.
While Ray's on site each day liaising with builders and sourcing materials, Carl's been juggling full-time work and renovating on the weekends.
You've got to admire their energy.
Oh, wow, you've been busy.
Wow.
Little different, isn't it?
There's nothing left.
Termites will do that.
But they've also had a bit of help from the professionals. They've removed just about everything from the downstairs level, except the kitchen sink.
And these renovations aren't without their difficulties. As the house was built in 1935, it's in a heritage area, so Ray and Carl can't change the facade of the house or build another level. The most they can do is re-stump and raise the building by a metre.
What we're going to do is put a bathroom, a laundry, a bedroom and a lounge room, a nice deck out here, looking out at the nice garden.
The renovations to both upstairs and downstairs will cost far more than they initially thought, about 200 grand.
But it'll be worth the investment, as a renovated 3-bedroom Queenslander in this area can fetch in the mid to high 800s.
So it's a pretty big job. I mean, do you feel like you might have bitten off a bit more than you can chew?
We've been up and down all the way through, and we probably will continue to be until it's done.
Yeah.
That's, I think, quite normal, and that's how it's going to be for, you know, the next 8-9 months.
I think the hardest thing for me was the fact that everything takes a lot longer than you think because of all the flooding and stuff like that. There's backlogs everywhere, so everything gets pushed out so much further. It just means that we've got 2 houses and we can't live in either of them, so we're like, darn it.
Because also we did have to go a little bit over that original budget too, didn't we? So we went $40,000 over your $500,000 budget. How is that impacting on your renovation costs?
If we hadn't have gone to the number that you nailed on the day, we wouldn't have it.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
We've got an original renovator. Great opportunity. And look, it's going to cost us more than our crazy estimate that we thought we'll do it all for this. It's probably going to cost twice that. The end result will be we'll have a fantastic asset to do something with.
And let's not forget their new house in Clifton Beach, far north Queensland.
We were up there 3 weeks ago, 2 days after we settled, and we drove past our house, and we drove past our house.
And then we walked past it.
We walked past it.
We took
and
photos.
We drove past it, and we'd love to get in there.
Dream building. So when do you think that you'd actually move in there? How many years?
We're hoping to keep it rented for 2 years. And as soon as we finish down here, we plan to do some renovations up there, cosmetic to start with. I think Ray's already spent about 200,000 in her head. We'll do that in stages. As certainly you guys have seen, sitting on that deck achieves our end goal, which was to get a place in Clifton Beach for our future. Doesn't matter what's going on in your life, it's going to be pretty good.
While renovating one property would be daunting for most, Carl and Ray are thrilled about the prospect of renovating 2.
It's a lot of hard work, but they both agree, as long as they're together, it's worth it.
You helped us find our dream home in Clifton Beach, and that's going to be there for the long term, for the future. You helped us find a great project in Brisbane, which, again, is going to be a real challenge for us over the next 12 months. And the most important thing of all is you've brought us two back together. We can get on with our lives and we can start having some fun together, because our lives have been on hold for a little while.
Yep.
And that's the most important thing of all, isn't it?
Yeah.